all tomorrows. Imagine humanity finally colonizing the stars, thriving for millions of years, and then getting curb-stomped by a bunch of smug alien geneticists called the Coup. These guys show up, decide we're doing it wrong, and then begin a billion-year-long art project using human beings as their medium. And by art, I mean grotesque, reality-defying biosculptures like the Gravitals, who are nothing but massive floating brains, or the snake people, who can't even remember being human. Living in this universe is like being trapped in an eternal sci-fi fever dream where evolution is less natural selection and more, let's see what happens if we turn humans into starfish with eyes in their armpits. Entire civilizations are mutilated, forgotten, rediscovered, then mutilated again, sometimes by other post-human species who don't even know what a human was in the first place. The real kicker? After a billion years of cosmic chaos, a single species, the Star People, decides to undo some of the damage and bring back the idea of humanity. It's a touching comeback story, sure, but it only takes a few more million years. No biggie, right? In All Tomorrows, time is just a casual suggestion, and body horror is the standard dress code. You could wake up one day as a living statue, a mole person stuck underground forever, or a two-headed quadruped who thinks concrete is delicious. So yes, it's terrifying, but in a way that's so massive, so absurd, so darkly imaginative, you almost have to laugh. If cosmic horror had a sense of irony and a biology degree, it would write All Tomorrows.
Made in Abyss. Living in the world of Made in Abyss is like signing up for a magical field trip and realizing halfway through that the permission slip was actually a death waiver. The Abyss itself is a giant pit that stretches so deep into the earth that even physics gave up trying to explain it. It lures in adventurers called cave raiders with promises of ancient relics and glory, but most of them end up as skeleton decorations for future explorers to trip over. Each layer of the Abyss brings new wonders and horrors, bioluminescent forests, time-warping zones, and creatures that look like Pokémon if Pokémon were designed by a sleep-deprived Lovecraft. And then there's the curse of the Abyss. The deeper you go, the worse the curse gets. Migraines at first, then hallucinations, loss of humanity, and complete and painful transformation into something not even your mom would recognize. And don't forget about the White Whistles, elite raiders who are both admired and feared, mostly because they've been down so far they probably share their brains with the Abyss itself. One of them turned children into sentient meat blobs, and that's somehow not even the worst thing down there. Yet, amidst all this nightmare fuel, the series casually throws in cheerful music and adorable kids talking about poop and dreams, as if we're not watching a slow descent into despair. In Made in Abyss, everything is beautiful, deadly, and emotionally scarring. It's the kind of place where you might discover a floating island of golden leaves and then get your intestines gently rearranged by a smiling creature that thinks you're lunch. Silent Hill. Silent Hill is one of the scariest universes to live in because the town doesn't just haunt you, it knows you. Silent Hill looks like a foggy little resort town with terrible weather, but once you're in, the fog hides more than just bad road signs. Monsters crawl out of your guilt, regrets take physical form, and if you're unlucky enough, you'll get dragged into the other world where everything turns rusty, bloody, and aggressively unwelcoming. The town morphs itself based on your inner demons. If you sinned, mourned, or even just had a mildly traumatic childhood, Silent Hill's got content tailored just for you. The first game starts with Harry Mason looking for his adopted daughter in this ghost town gone wrong, but instead of friendly neighbors or helpful signs, he finds cults, demonic children, and an environment that looks like hell outsourced its design to a particularly angry artist. There's a reason flashlights and radios are your best friends. One lets you see barely anything, the other just screams static at you when monsters are close, which is always. This town breaks physics, sanity, and your will to live. People disappear, reappear, and sometimes they just don't exist anymore except in your messed up memories. To make it worse, the town's evil is tied to a cult that worships a god who seems to specialize in suffering. These people perform rituals that go horribly wrong and cause spiritual rifts that make the town a magnet for pain. If your idea of a vacation is being hunted by metaphors and melting nurses while questioning reality itself, Silent Hill is the ultimate getaway. SCP Foundation. On the surface, things might seem normal until your neighbor turns out to be a reality-warping lizard or your morning coffee screams at you in Latin. The Foundation, in all its bureaucratic brilliance, exists to secure, contain, protect. But let's be real, they mostly duct-tape the paranormal and hope it doesn't notice. This organization isn't just hiding aliens and haunted dolls. They're babysitting entities that can unmake existence because someone sneezed knew them. The real horror? Most civilians don't even know. That weird power outage? Probably a mimetic entity devouring thoughts in a 5-mile radius. That sudden construction downtown? Likely a containment breach that's being quietly cleaned up, which in Foundation speak means erased from memory and possibly reality. And if you do find out too much, congratulations. You're either recruited, terminated, or given a nice brain scrub courtesy of amnestics, like the universe's worst hangover cure. Then there's the Foundation itself, a morally gray institution with more skeletons in its classified closets than actual staff. They're not above unethical experiments or sacrificing a few lives or cities for the greater good. It's hard to sleep soundly knowing the people in charge of saving the world think empathy is a containment risk. The SCP universe is broken in ways we're not meant to understand, and the only thing standing between us and a screaming void full of teeth is a shadowy group who stores nightmares in filing cabinets.
The Boys. Living in the Boys universe is like waking up in a world where Superman joined Instagram, skipped therapy, and decided to laser anyone who annoyed him. On paper, superheroes should bring peace and hope, but in this world they're corporate mascots wrapped in Lycra and PR campaigns, managed by Vought International. Here, soups aren't born noble, they're made, literally injected with Compound V, then raised on ego and media manipulation. Imagine your local celebrity suddenly getting flight powers and zero consequences. That's basically Homelander, the walking nuclear bomb with mommy issues and a god complex. He smiles for the cameras, but could erase a city block because someone didn't laugh at his joke. The Seven, the top superhero team, are supposed to protect the world, but they're more concerned with brand deals and trending hashtags. In this world, soup collateral damage is normal. 1 second, you're on a date, holding hands. The next, your girlfriend's exploded because A train was running late. Good luck getting justice when the murderer's face is on cereal boxes. But the worst part? The only people trying to fix things, the boys themselves, are a ragtag group of traumatized humans armed with sarcasm, rage, and a disturbingly casual approach to violence. Their plan? Out crazy the crazies. And somehow that's the best hope humanity has. The Boys universe is terrifying, not because of monsters, but because the monsters wear capes and film commercials about justice while casually deciding who lives and dies. And if that doesn't send a chill down your spine, maybe you've already taken a dose of Compound V. Berserk. Imagine waking up one day, stretching, and before you finish your yawn, a demonic horse with a human face is galloping straight at you. That's just Tuesday. In this relentlessly grim universe created by Kentaro Miura, humanity is basically the snack aisle for creatures known as apostles. Humans who sacrificed their loved ones for power and turned into grotesque monsters that would give Lovecraft nightmares. And don't even try praying. The God Hand, the divine beings running the cosmic horror show, make sure hope dies faster than a background character in a guts fight. Speaking of guts, he's the guy swinging a sword the size of a minivan and still considered the underdog. That's because the laws of physics, biology, and morality all packed their bags and left this world long ago. Pounds raised, children are possessed, and if you're lucky enough not to be eaten by a demon, you'll probably be crushed under some feudal lord's ambition or caught in a plague. Miura didn't just create a dark fantasy, he forged a place where existential dread is the default setting. But hey, at least there's magic, right? Sure, if you count sorcery that rips holes in reality and invites even worse horrors in. The world of Berserk is the ultimate no-refund horror trip, where even your dreams aren't safe. Still, it's oddly comforting to know that no matter how bad your Monday is, it's probably not eclipse ceremony bad. God of War. Imagine waking up in ancient Greece or Norse realms thinking it's just another day of farming or hunting, and suddenly the sky rips open because a god's having a bad day. You're not just worried about paying taxes, you're worried about being collateral damage in a feud between immortals with daddy issues and anger management problems. This universe doesn't believe in peace treaties, it believes in blood oaths, vengeance, and smashing skulls with axes that return like magic boomerangs. You've got gods who can level mountains with a frown, sea monsters the size of small cities, and prophecies that usually end with, "and then the world burned." Even the heroes, like Kratos, aren't exactly comforting figures. He's a walking apocalypse with a sad past and a very active grudge list. To make things spicier, the Norse realms toss in world serpents, undead armies, and a talking head who somehow knows everything, including how bad your day is about to get. The gods might smile on you one minute and turn you into a squirrel the next just because they're bored. Your best chance at survival? Stay indoors, avoid eye contact with wolves and men carrying chained blades, and hope that Ragnarok is running late. God of War is terrifying not because it's dark and broody all the time, but because its idea of normal is watching the fabric of reality get torn apart by ancient trauma and divine flexing, served with a side of glorious beard physics and the occasional dad joke.
The Sims. The Sims might look like a colorful sandbox of domestic bliss, but it's secretly one of the most terrifying universes to be trapped in, and not because of ghosts or monsters. In this world, your entire existence is micromanaged by an unseen force with the power to control when you eat, sleep, or even pee. You can be forced to starve in a room with no doors, or fall in love with someone only because a green diamond above your head says it's time. Fires start from microwaving a sandwich, and toilets routinely explode. Life in The Sims is a loop of working, skill grinding, and desperately trying to fulfill aspirations like kiss 10 strangers or become best friends with your boss. And if you ever start to get too comfortable, you could be deleted or turned into a garden gnome for fun. Time is fluid. Children can go from toddlers to elders in days, and death doesn't necessarily mean peace. You might come back as a ghost, stuck eternally haunting your poorly decorated former home. Even the Grim Reaper takes coffee breaks and sometimes flirts with the neighbors. Worst of all, no one questions any of it. Sims smile while standing in fire and cheerfully mop up their own puddles of existential dread. It's a world where free will is an illusion and chaos is routine. The Sims is less a game of life and more a cheerful dystopia where you never know if today is the day your god gets bored and locks you in the basement with 30 flamingo statues.
Hey everyone, thank you all for watching until the end. I'll be back with more videos, so make sure to like and subscribe.